Ji-hoon was an ordinary middle school student, quite antisocial, always staying alone, whether at home or school. Ji-hoon never interacted much with his classmates. He preferred being an observer, never participating in any school events. Gradually, he developed a habit of writing every little detail in a diary on his phone. Whether it was his classmates' conversations or a stone lying on the road, Ji-hoon noted everything meticulously. But as Lu Xun once said, the truth can never be hidden. Ji-hoon himself was a bit too strange. He had no visible friends, only two imaginary characters, one who called himself the god of space and time, Zeus, and the other his servant, Muru. Ji-hoon knew they were just figments of his imagination, but when life offers no dreams, a person learns to live in that imagination. One day, Zeus asked, "Have you ever thought about changing your life?" Ji-hoon stayed silent. Then Zeus invited him to participate in a game, one that could transform his life. At first, Ji-hoon didn't take the message seriously, but the next morning, when he woke up, he saw his diary was already written. Every event of the day ahead was detailed in it. First point, he'd hit a perfect shot in dart practice. Second point, the morning news would report a murderer. Ji-hoon was shaken. Initially, he brushed it off as a coincidence, but as he went to school and every entry in the diary came true one by one, including answers to a surprise test, he realized this was no joke. Even Zeus's existence started seeming possible, because his phone had taken the form of a future diary. Zeus explained that the diary gave him the ability to see the future, but if it were destroyed, Ji-hoon would die too. Ji-hoon had doubts at first, but as Lu Xun said, the truth may come late, but it always arrives. Slowly, Ji-hoon sank into the comfort of the diary, topping exams, avoiding problems in advance. He began dreaming of becoming a billionaire and marrying a white rich beauty, but then a piercing gaze stole his peace. The school's most popular girl, Yunai, a perfect blend of beauty and intelligence, was watching him. Ji-hoon couldn't figure out why a girl like Yunai would be interested in him. After school, he spotted a familiar doll on her desk, and just then, a line appeared in his diary. He'd be killed by a serial killer. Panicking, Ji-hoon fled the school. According to his diary, Yunai was following him, as if she too knew the future. He changed his route multiple times, but Yunai caught up every time, as if she could predict the future too. Finally, she admitted she also had a diary, called the Ji-hoon Diary. Every 10 minutes, it updated with Ji-hoon's future. Every move he made was already written in it, and Yunai openly confessed it was her love-filled diary, written for Ji-hoon. She said his future belonged to her alone, so she wouldn't let him die. Then she revealed they were both trapped in a deadly game, where future diary holders had to kill each other to become the last winner. The winner would replace Zeus as the new god. Zeus explained the game's rules. There were 12 diary holders in total, all with hidden identities. Each diary had a unique function. Yunai's tracked Ji-hoon every 10 minutes, while Ji-hoon's predicted general future events. The hardest task was changing the future, especially when someone's death was written in the diary. But Ji-hoon had already performed a miracle, which greatly impressed Zeus. According to Zeus, Ji-hoon might just be the final winner. All diary holders were watching him, but Ji-hoon knew the miracle wasn't his. It was Yunai's. He broke down and collapsed to the ground, and then came the clingy stalker-girlfriend drama every 10 minutes. Yunai kept sending him SMS updates of his every move, with everything about him written in her diary. Ji-hoon wondered if he should destroy his diary, but then came another twist. A strange woman came to meet him. She was diary holder number 9, Lu Mani. She'd tracked diary holder number 3 and knew everything. Ji-hoon's changes, the details of 3's death. In just a few words, Ji-hoon found himself in a deadly situation where even his underwear wasn't spared. His diary opened in front of him, revealing he'd die in a blast. Before he could process it, Yunai rushed in with a massive fire extinguisher to save him. The 9th player escaped through a window after the blast, and at that moment, a tremendous explosion rocked the building, clearly the 9th's doing. With Yunai's help, Ji-hoon escaped death once again. This experience fully exposed his cowardly side. He couldn't understand how Yunai could so calmly say things like, "Someone should be killed." But driven by his will to survive, Ji-hoon decided to use this psycho to his advantage, and Yunai had no issue with it. She happily agreed to let Ji-hoon use her. Ji-hoon's diary was non-discriminatory. It simply recorded events happening around him, but said nothing about his own future. Meanwhile, Yunai's diary only predicted Ji-hoon's future. Together, their diaries formed an omniscient combo. Using this combo, they avoided the blast, but when they met their classmates, everyone grabbed them. It turned out the 9th had already manipulated and convinced everyone that handing Ji-hoon over would spare the rest. Ji-hoon sank back into his emotional abyss. He said he just wanted to be an outsider, free from attachments, but reality had forcefully dragged him in. Seeing everyone's silence, Yunai's anger exploded. To her, Ji-hoon was her only friend in the world. She broke free from her restraints and rushed to destroy bombs hidden in the classroom. The 9th found this unexpected but wasn't fazed. She revealed bombs were planted all over the school, set to detonate in 10 minutes. At that moment, a bullet fired. Player 4 entered. He was a police officer who thought this whole Divine Diary game was nonsense. His goal was simple: end the game. But he couldn't kill the 9th directly, because according According to her diary, if her heartbeat stopped, the school would explode. The ninth openly told the fourth, "Kill Ji-hoon, then kill yourself. I'll let everyone else go." But being a cop, the fourth refused. Ji-hoon sank into despair again. "I've always been a loser anyway. Maybe dying like this would be more meaningful." But Yunai wouldn't accept this fate. She literally jumped from the roof to attack the ninth in the face. In that moment, the fourth holstered his gun and encouraged Ji-hoon. "Prove you're not just a loser living off girls." Ji-hoon gathered his courage and charged at the ninth. The problem was, she'd rigged the ground with bombs. Luckily, Yunai's diary predicted his future, allowing Ji-hoon to dodge them all successfully. The fourth distracted the ninth with gunfire, and the classmates, finally seeing Ji-hoon's courage, threw books and objects in support. In a final move, the ninth removed her phone and sacrificed her left eye, a move from her escape diary. It showed her the safest escape route, letting her slip away from the police. In the aftermath, the fourth proposed teaming up with Ji-hoon. His goal was to find all the players and end the game. His diary was called the Arrest Diary. A city-wide police investigation launched, and the ninth nearly got caught once, but a mysterious figure saved her. Meanwhile, after the school blast, Ji-hoon and Yunai got a vacation in the media spotlight. The fourth wanted to use them as bait to trap the other players. But by then, Ji-hoon and Yunai's bond had grown so strong that the vacation turned into a proper date. At the theme park, Yunai gave Ji-hoon plenty of fan service, but this is a gentleman's blog, so we'll skip that respectfully. Ji-hoon, still soft and confused, asked Yunai on the Ferris wheel, "Why are you so obsessed with me?" Yunai flashed back to a year ago when everyone was told to write their dreams. Ji-hoon wrote, "I want to watch the stars with my family," but that week his parents had divorced. Yunai had told him then, "I'll go with you." Ji-hoon said, "I want to see them with my family." Casually, Yunai replied, "Then I'll become your future wife." The directness threw Ji-hoon off, but he didn't refuse then either. That evening, Ji-hoon stayed at Yunai's house. Their bond had grown quite intimate. Yunai's diary predicted a happy ending in their near future. But during a bathroom break, Ji-hoon saw a strange room. According to the diary, he hadn't opened the door, but curiosity got the better of him. Inside were knife marks, blood, and scattered dead bodies. Ji-hoon stood shocked. At that moment, the world's causality line shifted. He returned home, but his mind kept replaying the horror. What was that? On the other side, the ninth took a drug given by a strange man and collapsed. Instead of a phone, she held a piece of wood. The man forcibly opened her eye and removed her eyeball. At that moment, Yunai became the seventh player. Seeing Ji-hoon kiss someone else sent her into a breakdown. The sixth player's diary predicted her own death. As she scrolled to confirm, Yunai grabbed an axe, chopped off her hand, and leaped at Ji-hoon, holding him tightly. The next day, Ji-hoon and Yunai went to Tamaki Church to find the ninth. Inside, they learned the church's owner was in jail. He was the sixth player, with a clairvoyant diary that could see the future. Suddenly, the floor's blankets caught fire. A man threw petrol from a bucket, spreading the flames. The church followers, brainwashed, began hacking each other with axes. Ji-hoon rushed to help, but Yunai stopped him. "It's a trap. You'll die if you go in." Ji-hoon was so overwhelmed it felt like his brain's CPU had burned out. In that moment, a flashback hit him. If he hadn't fled Yunai's house that day, he might have ended up like a mummified corpse. Snowgray clearly said, "Yunai is a cold-blooded murderer." That statement plunged Yunai into deep thought. She stared at an axe on the ground and thought, if I take out number 6, Snowgray will stay with me like before. The scene shifted to an underground prison. Number 12 played creepily with an eyeball. Unlike number 6, 12 was blind but had super hearing and disguise powers. He began his performance, wrapping a rope around his neck, donning a hood, and confronting Snowgray and Yunai. Yunai grabbed Snowgray's hand to flee, but halfway, number 6 stopped and said, "I'll face it here." At that moment, number 12 stood on the roof, creating 5 clones in different colors. Relying on his numbers, he attacked. Since 12 was blind, Yunai used strategy. She tossed 10 tokens toward a pillar, confusing the sound's direction. Once she confirmed the real 12, she struck him down in one blow. His body fell onto Snowgray, but it was all part of number 6's plan. They'd used Yunai to eliminate 12, and now aimed to trap Snowgray too. Then, number 6 kissed Snowgray in front of everyone. Furious, Yunai swung her axe at 6 and yelled at Snowgray, "Run!" The cult followers captured Yunai. Number 6 ordered, "Wear her down turn by turn. I want to drag Snowgray out." Snowgray recalled the sweet moments with Yunai. Guilt overwhelmed him. In rage, Snowgray grabbed an axe and attacked the cultists. In a tactical move, he threw a handball to distract them, then finished the target with a dart. Number 6 vanished. His body twisted and disappeared. Snowgray returned home to find a broken window. Checking his phone, he realized Yunai had broken in. He lied to his mom. "I accidentally broke the glass." Inside, he saw Yunai had decorated the kitchen and dining area with a full-course meal. His mom approached the door. Snowgray quickly hid Yunai in the wardrobe. When his mom asked, "What were you doing here?" he awkwardly said, "I was exercising." Yunai's entry wasn't random. She'd seen the future on her phone, knowing his mom would be home. When his mom saw his spotless room, she was impressed. Inside the wardrobe, Yunai beamed. "This is my future." future mother-in-law. Snowgray awkwardly said, I'm having hallucinations, maybe an ear problem, but his mom was sharp. She caught on that a boy was hidden. Snowgray hugged her and ushered her out. When he convinced his mom Yunai was a normal boy, she looked at him and said, he's cute. Yunai pulled out food. I made this, Snowgray worried. If mom doesn't like it, I'm done. But she ate and said, amazing taste. Jokingly, she added, you should come straight to our house for marriage. Snowgray was stunned. Yunai blushed. Both lowered their heads. Pure romance vibes. That night, his mom said, let Yunai stay over. Snowgray agreed, but Yunai insisted. I'll sleep in your room. Snowgray warned, mom's downstairs, so stay quiet. Lights off, Yunai asked, why are you ignoring me? Snowgray replied, I don't love you. Yunai smiled. I guarantee you'll marry me on July 28th. Snowgray said, I'll never love you. Yunai replied, you will. I won't let you change the future. Seeing his cute expression, Snowgray hid under his blanket, blushing. He recalled their sweet moments and thought, honestly, Yunai's pretty cute. The scene cut to a young psycho boy. He raised scissors to attack a girl, but Yunai blocked it with a pillow. The boy decided to electrocute Yunai in the bath. He'd cut wires near the bathroom and prepared salt water in the tub. A perfect plan. The day before, Snowgray woke to his mom's voice. A colleague's son's house burned down, so he'll stay with us for a bit. But this boy was another future diary player. Number 5. His mission, kill Yunai and avenge his parents. Number 5 was dangerous. Entering the room, he kissed Snowgray. Then he plotted Yunai's murder. The next day, he showed off his art skills, drawing a stunning portrait of Yunai. He cut it with scissors and attacked in real time. But Yunai had pre-read it. She blocked with a pillow, and the boy fled. Yunai's too stubborn. He pulled out his sketch diary, his personal future diary. But it was weak, only showing morning, noon, and evening events. He declared, I'll defeat Yunai and Snowgray no matter what. I'm elite. I'm not allowed to lose. With that toxic mindset, he took a special truth serum poison from his bag to spike their lunch. While everyone was busy in the kitchen, the boy injected the tomato salad. When Yunai checked the tomato's weight with a spoon, she grew suspicious. It was lighter than before. Snowgray was about to eat it when Yunai stopped him. Yunai grabbed their rice bowls, furious at the thought of poison. Snowgray's phone vibrated, a future diary update. Both were shocked. After the poison plan failed, the boy set a deadly bathroom trap. He cut a high-voltage wire, making it conductive with salt. The plan was simple. Yunai would enter and get electrocuted. Meanwhile, Snowgray's diary updated, Yunai dead. Panicking, he turned on all electric appliances to overload the voltage. Seeing Yunai in the bathroom, the boy got excited, but Yunai spotted him first from the corner. The trap failed. The boy fled, leaving Snowgray and Yunai stunned. How terrifying can a 5-year-old be? Snowgray realized, this kid's a future diary holder, but they couldn't find the diary. Yunai grabbed a knife ready to kill him. Snowgray stopped her. We just need the diary, not to kill? The boy confidently walked to the bathroom, dragging his bag. Snowgray searched desperately but failed. Yunai tried again. I'll kill him! Snowgray stopped her. My mom's with that kid! The boy followed his diary. I'll win this game. As Snowgray and Yunai discussed, he escaped. Yunai chased with a hammer but accidentally hit Snowgray's mom. Luckily, it was a light blow. Snowgray snapped, don't involve mom. They planned to find the diary again. Yunai slumped on the table in emotional guilt. Then a clue emerged. The kid ordered a delivery from the convenience store. Snowgray went to the delivery spot and opened the package. Poison gas burst out. He collapsed. The boy couldn't stop laughing. You'd have survived if you opened it from the back. Yunai dragged Snowgray to the bathroom, but with no antidote, tension soared. The boy taunted, I'm your parents' killer. Yunai replied, your end will be elite style. The boy said, find me in hide and seek and you'll get the antidote. Yunai promised Snowgray, I'll win the antidote. The boy set traps around the house. Yunai rested briefly, then resumed the hunt. She found him on the second floor. Victory's mine! But a water and bulb trap on the ground shocked Yunai, and she fell. Snowgray, in the bathroom, sensed it. As the boy went to inject poison, Snowgray stopped him with a flying dart. He gave Yunai mouth to mouth. Stay alive! When Yunai woke, the boy kept his word and gave the antidote, but Yunai collapsed again. Juji entered just in time, injecting Snowgray with the antidote. Snowgray survived, but Yunai now wanted to control him, going to school together every day, no relying on the diary, no new friends. Snowgray froze. His gaze fell on an empty seat. It wasn't a hallucination. A white-haired genius boy, Q Labo, sat there. Yunai said, you're stressed, and invited him home. After a school change, Snowgray joined a new class. There, he saw his old friend Gao Ban, once his enemy, still mocking him. Then a girl entered and floored Gao Ban. Snowgray was shocked. A purple-haired loli followed. Both girls were friendly with Snowgray. They said, we want to be detectives. Join us in Anhadi. Yunai, watching from afar, went from sad to shocked. Her heart held so much she couldn't share, feeling detached from everyone. Amid the crowd, she couldn't connect. Standing alone in cold shade, she scratched the ground with her foot. Let me die. By evening, everyone reached the rooftop. Ji-hoon was with them, his face tinged with shy embarrassment. He quietly asked Rui Xiang, why are you so nice to me? Smiling, she replied, you're my friend. Hearing this, Orphan's heart swelled. From behind, a violent violet-haired girl introduced herself. "I'm Mao, I'll look after you." But when Yunai returned, she warned, "It's getting late, go home." This time, Ji-hoon ignored her and refused. Red-eyed danger and the future diary. Signal. Meanwhile, Hinata, a bit apart from the group, felt watched. Entering a small jungle area, she saw countless red eyes staring at her. At that moment, Ji-hoon's future diary blared emergency signals. He grew confused. What was happening? Yunai screamed, "Get out of there now!" But Ji-hoon refused again. Using his diary, he bolted toward the jungle. After a brief search, a shocking sight emerged. Hinata stood before a massive monster, surrounded by steel-fanged dogs. Detective Akuranhua's entry, the brain god. Everyone was helpless until the genius boy Akuranhua arrived. A detective from Ji-hoon's class, he'd been secretly tailing them. Seeing Orphan's panicked face, he placed a hand on his cheek and said, "I'll handle everything from here." Amid the wolves, only Akuranhua and Ji-hoon pressed forward. If Yunai was the action star, Akuranhua was the brain of this anime. He had no diary, but his sixth sense and deduction were terrifyingly sharp. He quickly analyzed 3 recent murders with a connection, all indirectly tied to Ji-hoon. He said, "I don't believe you did anything wrong, but you're in a dangerous situation." Hearing this, Orphan's trust in him grew, but Yunai interjected, "The one controlling these dogs could be nearby, or even one of us." Her biggest suspicion fell on Akuranhua. Friendship or sacrifice, one way to save everyone. In the tension, Ji-hoon pulled out his future diary. Yunai suggested, "Let's use the others as bait and escape." This shocked everyone. Takaban yelled at Orphan, "Have you forgotten what friendship means?" Ji-hoon said nothing, only acted. He instructed everyone on blocking the glass windows. Through teamwork, they wore out the wolves, who finally retreated. Everyone was impressed. Takaban said, "Ji-hoon, you're stronger than I thought." But noticing Ji-hoon checking his phone repeatedly, he asked, "What's this about?" Ji-hoon then revealed the truth about the future diary. Who's the traitor? A knife in the back. When the truth came out, Yunai was stunned. Suddenly, Mao attacked Ji-hoon from behind, snatching his phone and threatening him with a knife. At that moment, Yunai's diary text changed. Hinata, hidden nearby, warned, "Don't move." Ji-hoon, shocked, asked, "You were all just after my phone?" Hinata finally revealed her secret, her pet diary. But her real target wasn't Ji-hoon, it was Akuranhua. She explained, "The 10th diary holder killed someone by mistake. I want to go back in time to see my father. You all got in the way." The final game, when life's at stake. Hinata faked her death via the wolves to trap Akuranhua. Ji-hoon cried, "I thought I was a friend." Akuranhua said, "I'll give you the diary if you win the game." The game began. Yunai, doubting Akuranhua, slammed him with a German suplex. She grabbed his phone, no diary. Casually, he said, "I was just doing it for fun." Everyone was floored. Orphan's heart broke. Then Akuranhua asked, "Why does Hinata want me dead? Because I uncovered her father's secret." He redefined the game's rules. He told Yunai to cover Ji-hoon's ears. Predicting the future, he'd planned to win with a coin toss trick, manipulating everyone. Mao's end and Hinata's revenge. After the game, Mao attacked with another knife, but Yunai killed her first. Ji-hoon reclaimed his diary and got everyone out. Seeing Mao's death, Hinata snapped. He commanded the dogs, "Kill Yunai. Time's verdict, flee or change." Ji-hoon checked his diary. "If I run, everyone dies." He decided instantly, "No, I'll stay." He raced back toward Hinata. Yunai followed, shouting, "She's only been here a day. How can you call her a friend?" Orphan replied, "Why don't you want me making new friends?" Yunai drew a knife. "If you don't stop, I'll attack." But Orphan didn't stop. For friendship, he'd do anything. In that moment, the situation flipped as Ji-hoon declared, to save himself, that Yunai was his girlfriend. In front of everyone, he told her they'd marry on July 28th, and if she didn't want to miss it, she'd have to make a good impression and act like a proper girl. Everyone was stunned, but the trick worked. Hinata, emotional and crying, vowed to end the enmity. Hinata's father, controlling the hunting dogs with a special device, messaged him that he was doing good now, warning, "Don't become a bad person like me." But suddenly, number 4 shot Hinata's father dead. The police secretly wanted to provoke Yunai into a crime. A policeman stood before her, risking his life. But against expectations, Yunai targeted his head. Bullets riddled his body, yet she didn't stop, grabbing more guns and knives to attack. This policeman had been threatening Ji-hoon, aiming to make Yunai violent, so both could be declared criminals, giving police a legal reason to kill them. He secretly wanted to become God to save his endangered son. An hour earlier, in a flashback, Ji-hoon and Yunai were heading home with a wedding photo when police surrounded them. They were taken to the station under the guise of investigation. Ji-hoon panicked, but Yunai comforted him. "I'll always protect you." She went violent, searching for weapons. Ji-hoon tried to stop her and approached Officer 4 for clarity. Inside, he saw 4 cleaning a revolver. 4 lied, saying Ji-hoon and Yunai killed diary holder 10. Relieved he wasn't a suspect, Ji-hoon relaxed. Then, 4 loaded a bullet and started Russian roulette with him. When the diary signaled Ji-hoon's life was in danger, Yunai's violent mode activated. She attacked the police with a fire extinguisher, stole their guns, and fired relentlessly at 4 with the last bullet. The police couldn't stop her, but Ji-hoon's begging calmed her. Both became criminals and began a escaping. During the escape, police fired. Terrified, Ji-hoon pulled the trigger, giving them an excuse to kill. Seeing a death prediction in his diary, he apologized to Yunai on the rooftop for failing to save her. Emotional, they kissed and jumped, but as protagonists, they landed on a truck and survived. On the run and starving, Ji-hoon smelled donuts. Following it, he saw a woman, Player 4's wife. They trailed her, but a bomb attack struck. Yunai survived, but Ji-hoon was critically injured. Number 9 entered, blackmailing them. Ji-hoon activated the bomb's remote, escalating the danger. 9, playing fair, offered an alliance to reveal 4's betrayal. She wanted to become God to save her son. By night, police surrounded the hospital. Ji-hoon, Yunai, and 9 allied to negotiate by taking 4's family hostage. But 4 ignored his family, attacking the hospital. Yunai killed several police using human shields in a brutal fight with 4. 9 secretly planted time bombs in the hospital, which began exploding. Yunai confronted 4 with a flash bomb, but real bombs detonated, destroying the hospital. Ji-hoon desperately searched for Yunai, finding her badly wounded. Number 4 blocked his path, grinning menacingly as she grabbed his hair and attacked. Ji-hoon grabbed a gun in desperation, but 4 taunted he wouldn't shoot with Yunai in the line of fire. Any miss would kill her. Confused, Ji-hoon checked his diary. It predicted his bullet would hit Yunai. Smiling, she said, "Shoot, Ji-hoon. If I die for you, I'll have no regrets. You showed me a wedding dream. That's enough. Even if you used me, I don't care." Moved, Ji-hoon saw their wedding photo fall. Determined, he aimed. The diary's message shifted instantly. His bullet struck 4. Still, 4 lunged with a knife to save her son. Police arrived, arresting her. Before being taken, 4 requested 9 care for her daughter. She surrendered for her child's life. It was revealed Yunai was dangerous and disturbed. She'd murdered her parents, keeping their heads as toys. She'd kidnapped Ji-hoon for 2.5 years with a special drug, chaining him with 49 chains and feeding him like a baby. Her obsession was so extreme, she collected his urine daily, drinking it like pure milk. This obsession stemmed from her deep love for Ji-hoon, but genius detective Akirahua had uncovered her secret. One day, Yunai lured Ji-hoon to the jungle under the pretext of stargazing, drugged his drink, and took him unconscious to an abandoned family lodge. Her plan was to keep him there forever for a happy life. Ji-hoon's disappearance made Akirahua suspicious. Since police couldn't intervene directly due to the future diary case, they hired him privately. With Hinata and others, he tracked the location, but Yunai had set 49 deadly traps. As Akirahua used the lift, a scythe swung at them. Hinata got an SMS from Ji-hoon saying he was in the basement. Hinata rushed down without thinking, but Akirahua suspected a trap. How could a kidnapped person text? They reached the basement, finding an unconscious Ji-hoon. Akirahua realized it was a realistic doll. As he approached, the iron door locked and poisonous gas filled the room. The real Ji-hoon was tied to a chair, surrounded by wedding photos of him and Yunai. She smiled, trying to feed him his favorite food, but he stayed blank-faced. Hinata angrily demanded, "Why are you doing this to him? You're not his girlfriend." Yunai lovingly replied, "You've got it wrong. Ji-hoon's so happy now. He's safe with me. We can stay here forever, away from the police." Trapped in the gas chamber, Akirahua devised a daring plan. Via surveillance, he confronted Yunai, exposing her parents' murdered bodies. Stunned, she froze. He revealed 3 bodies, 2 headless parents and a third unknown. Akirahua offered a deal, but Yunai laughed coldly, saying he knew nothing. She increased the gas pressure. Takaban panicked in the gas, writing a last message. A mysterious code hit his phone. He'd become a future diary user. It showed an escape route, a ventilation pipe. He opened it, jumping into Yunai's room. Shocked, she didn't know he had a diary now. Seeing a friend, Ji-hoon desperately wanted to speak, but his voice failed. He recalled the day Yunai drugged and trapped him here. Takaban challenged her. She pulled 2 keys, one for Ji-hoon's handcuffs, one for the surveillance room. She dropped Ji-hoon's key and threw the other at Takaban to trap him. As Takaban unlocked the door, danger loomed again. In everyone's shock, Yunai drew a crossbow and shot an arrow into Takaban's hand. About to kill him, Ji-hoon frantically looked around, spotting the key. He yelled to Hinata, "Pass me that key!" Hinata tossed it. Ji-hoon freed himself, snatched the crossbow, and slapped Yunai hard, saying, "Even the future diary has limits. It can't predict Hinata's moves." Yunai stared, confused and blank. But the situation worsened. Ji-hoon realized 3 more diary holders were in the room. Knowing things were dire, Ji-hoon fled with his injured teammates. Yunai tried to stop him desperately, but he didn't look back, leaving her alone. He reminded himself, never underestimate a pink-haired girl. Post-separation, Yunai faced a pure love warrior. Praised by Ji-hoon, she surged with power, dodging 24 deadly knives flawlessly, forcing the enemies to retreat in panic. Earlier, Ji-hoon had escaped Yunai's 2.5-year captivity, but now faced trouble from 2 new diary holders. Akirahua took everyone to Takaban's house, crafting a detailed plan to defeat the enemies, lure them in, and deactivate the signal tower to stop their predictions. But as the enemies entered, someone sabotaged the power source. The room blacked out. Ji-hoon pressed a button in panic, but the signal didn't deactivate. investigate. He realized only one other person knew the plan, Yunai. She appeared, declaring her sole purpose: protect Ji-hoon. Enemies, pure love warriors, Mark and May I, 7th and 8th players, entered. Ji-hoon and his team fled upstairs. Hinata, with a friend, got injured blocking the enemy with knives. Ji-hoon and Yunai locked a secret door. Ji-hoon felt guilty for failing his team, but Yunai cared only for his life, ignoring the others. She asked him to cut her ropes, but he feared she'd kidnap him again. He said, "I'm scared you'll tie me to a chair again." Genuinely, she replied she loved him and would never hurt him again. The enemies broke in, starting a confrontation. The pure love warrior couple revealed they were real diary holders. As it grew critical, Yunai begged Ji-hoon to cut her ropes, promising, "I won't imprison you again, trust me, Ji-hoon." An enemy girl attacked with a knife, but Yunai, empowered by Ji-hoon's encouragement, dodged every strike. Out of knives, the enemies retreated, activating a B skill outside that set the building ablaze. In the fire, the enemies returned for another clash. As Yunai aimed a final blow, the enemy man blocked it, brutally slamming her to the ground. Fire alarms and sprinklers kicked in. The enemy man grabbed Ji-hoon, snarling, "What use are you? What kind of boyfriend are you?" Tearfully, Ji-hoon admitted, "I'm just weak. I can only win by using Yunai." Disgusted, the man dropped him. Ji-hoon passed out. In the hospital, a mysterious nurse approached Ji-hoon, removing a wig to reveal she was Sakai, a criminal who'd killed her own son. She'd come with fake sympathy. Ji-hoon's father entered, misunderstanding it as his son role-playing with a nurse. He offered to dress as one for rehab exercises.